in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Shine FM Akachi, Radio Max, Takrady and Rich in Tamale. Get radio, TV and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, former President John Mahama tasked the NDC to focus on the 2024 general election to rescue the country from what he describes as mismanagement of the economy by the NPP administration.
Let us disagree to agree, but let us keep our collective sight firmly on the supreme objective of the NDC, leading Ghana out of the current abyss in which we find our country.
Also, 22 persons hospitalized over suspected food poisoning after eating at a funeral in the Oti region.
Patient from Kapiti who have allegedly been food poisoned. They went for a funeral and they came with diarrhea and vomiting, very profuse.
In business,
first tranche of IMF cash expected this week after board consideration of Ghana's program this Wednesday. Details on the Joy Business Report.
And also, pensioner bondholders expected to receive payment of outstanding coupons today after group reached an agreement with government.
From Monday up to Friday, we won't be there. We will see what will happen during the week in terms of the payment.
I am Maame Esi Thompson. Thanks for choosing us. In our first story, newly elected flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress (NDC), John Mahama, is rallying his party's rank and file to focus on helping the NDC lead the country out of its current economic challenges. The former president garnered 98.9% of the valid votes cast at the just-ended primaries. His closest competitor, Kojo Bonsu, secured just 1.1%. He's calling for unity as he gives the nod to lead the party for the 2024 elections. Here's a news desk report.
In a resounding victory, John Dramani Mahama emerged as flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress after winning the highly contested race. Mahama garnered an impressive 297,603 votes, accounting for a staggering 98.9% of the valid votes cast. His closest competitor, Kojo Bonsu, secured 3,181 votes out of the total of 300,784 valid votes. With his overwhelming support from party members, John Mahama solidifies his position as the frontrunner for the National Democratic Congress in the upcoming political landscape. Dr. Sri Bokweko is Director of Electoral Services for the Electoral Commission.
On behalf of the Chairperson of the Commission, I duly declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama duly elected with 98.9%.
Third, in their determination, Fifi Fiavikwete, the General Secretary of the NDC, declares that the party is prepared to go any length to regain power from the New Patriotic Party and to rescue the nation from its current economic challenges.
And we want to assure all of our supporters across the length and breadth of the country, and also the larger population of Ghana, that we are definitely going to make sure that this is the first of a long journey towards ensuring that we salvage this country come December 7, 2024.
In a bid to foster strength and coherence within the National Democratic Congress, flag bearer-elect John Mahama is urging for unity as the party gears for the upcoming 2024 elections.
I also ask for cooperation amongst all our elected parliamentary candidates and their respective aspirants and supporters in all the constituencies across the country.
The primaries also recorded some major political assets with the likes of MP for Pro East, Dr. Kwabena Donko, and MP for Pando de la Soa, as well as MP for Zagnerigu Ebi Efuseni, lost their slots to contest the next parliamentary elections. One of the major comebacks in these primaries is the former MP for Damongo, Adams Mutawakilu, son of National Chairperson of the NDC, Charles Kwesi Asiedu, will be making his first political entry.
And that was a news desk report. Meanwhile, leadership of the NDC will this morning hold talks with two feuding parliamentary aspirants in the Kechi North constituency of the Volta region. Former deputy youth organizer of the party, Edem Agbana, who won last weekend's primaries by a slim margin of 1 vote, now has his fate hanging in the balance after a recount of the ballots showed that at least one of the ballot papers had no verification stamps from the Electoral Commission. Mr. Agbana's rival, John Adanu, is fiercely contesting the validity of that single ballot, arguing that the internal elections ended in a tie of 385 votes each for the front runners. But Edem Agbana is fighting back with a vow that he will go any length to protect his electoral victory.
I won the elections. I am not the one that issues the ballot papers. Everyone and our agents signed against that. And again, the EC officials engaged in another act of illegality where, without any proper consultation, cancel the initial figures as written.
Meanwhile, the special prosecutor has commenced investigations into suspected corruption in the NDC parliamentary primaries. My colleague Elton Brobe has more. Elton, what have you been picking up?
So, Maame Esi, the special prosecutor says that it is investigating the NDC parliamentary primaries, and the first person they have invited is the woman who is seen in a viral video sharing money, Juliana Kenan Wasam, in the Ejura Dumase constituency. Now, we have intercepted a letter written to her, and part of it reads, the special prosecutor has commenced investigations of suspected corruption in respect of a public election at the National Democratic Congress primaries for the election of a parliamentary candidate for the Ejura Dumase constituency conducted 13th May 2023. The OSP considers you a person of interest necessary for the investigation. You are directed to attend the office of the special prosecutor. The office is provided in Accra this week for interview. You may be accompanied by your counsel of your choice.
Thank you, Elton. We sure will keep an eye on that one. Away from politics, 22 people from Mago farming community in the Nkwanta South district of the Oti region have been hospitalized due to suspected food poisoning. The victims are said to have suffered acute diarrhea and other symptoms after eating at a funeral Sunday morning. While 13 of them have been admitted to Nkwanta South Municipal Hospital, 9 others are also on admission at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital. The medical superintendent of Nkwanta Municipal Hospital, Dr. Theophilus Amwate, in an interview revealed that all the victims came with complaints of vomiting and severe diarrhea.
Patient from Kapiti who have allegedly been food poisoned. They went for a funeral yesterday, and this morning they came with diarrhea and vomiting, very profuse. Some were very dehydrated from the profuse diarrhea and vomiting.
A Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. John Kuma, is predicting a rebound of the economy after Ghana secured financing assurance from external creditors. According to him, the IMF board would consider Ghana's program this week. He believes an approval from the IMF for a $3 billion bailout will mark the recovery of the economy. He's been speaking to Joy News.
Definitely, this will restore confidence in the economy. I mean, many people have had their doubts. If you remember when Ghana got the SLA in December, the exchange rate depreciation ceased immediately, and we saw the CD recovering. I strongly believe that this major step of the credit committee being formed by the Parish Club and the statement on the financing assurance to the IMF will immediately restore confidence in the economy.
Meanwhile, pensioner bondholders will be expecting payment of the outstanding coupons beginning today. On Friday, government resolved to begin payments today after the pensioners picketed Finance Ministry. The pensioners say they are suspending their protest for now following the agreement reached. Convener for the Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edwanani Entry, says they wait to see if government makes good on its promise.
So the coupons only are going to be paid from Monday. However, the three principals due, we are still engaging government to see how that can be paid. That has not been resolved.
And just before we go, Nigerian TV producer, actress, and head of cook at Food by Hilda Ethion Bassi, popularly known as Hilda Bassi, is set to make her mark in the Guinness World Records for the longest cooking marathon. The chef is cooking over 250 recipes in 4-day marathon. The 27-year-old has been cooking for the past 85 hours and counting, with about 5 hours to break the Guinness World Record. She's cooking for 4 days and 4 nights to break the 87 hours 45 minutes set by chef Lata London in Rewa, India in 2019. She's currently cooked for more than 86 hours.
Well done, Hilda. Well done. Hilda, let's go. You too sweet.
Hilda, we're almost there. I can't wait. Heaven.
You heard some persons who have gathered at the cooking venue to cheer her on. And that's all for this package. In our top story, head former President John Mahama tasked the NDC to focus on the 2024 general election to rescue the country from what he described as mismanagement of the economy by the NPP administration. Thanks.